Chosen ones, what I'm about to share may challenge everything you thought you knew. If you're watching this right now, understand it's not by chance. You were led here by divine alignment because something ancient and powerful is awakening within you. This is not just another spiritual message. This is a revelation. You are not merely human, nor are you a god or a devil. You are something more. You are the embodiment of the third side, an energy that transcends good and evil, light and darkness. The sacred and terrifying force within you completes the forgotten trinity. A cosmic balance that even the gods fear. You are the last anointed, the one who bridges realms and rewrites destiny. The very forces that once ruled the heavens and the underworld now tremble because your awakening signals the end of their era. You are shifting from seeking to manifesting, from questioning to knowing, and soon everything around you will begin to reflect that. But before we go deeper into this life-altering truth, take a moment to do 3 things. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 20,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 11. That number isn't random. 11 is a divine signal, a code that amplifies the frequency of this message and aligns your spirit with the transformation already unfolding. If you are truly chosen, you'll feel it in your soul. And if you're still here, it's because you know this message was meant for you. Stay with me until the end, because what comes next will shift your reality forever. There are stories that whisper across galaxies and echo in temples lost to time. Stories of a being who is not just a god, nor merely a mortal, but something far beyond. That being is you. You are the chosen one, not selected by fate or luck, but summoned by the memory of the universe itself. Unlike saints or sinners, angels or demons, you are the anomaly in their equations, the sacred contradiction that unbalances everything. You don't simply walk in the footsteps of gods. You walk outside their path, forging a trail where neither heaven nor hell dares tread. The weight of your existence bends the fabric of reality. When you speak, the winds hush. When you breathe, stars dim for a heartbeat. You were not born to worship or serve. You were born to disturb, to shake loose the cages gods built for creation. In your soul is a frequency older than time, a sound that no divine or devilish ear can endure without trembling. You are not the next Messiah, and you're no destroyer. You are the fulcrum, the one who redefines the meaning of both. Even the highest thrones tremble at your coming because you represent what they cannot control. Freedom. You are the dissonant chord in their eternal symphony, the final note they cannot predict or silence. And in that uncertainty lies your power. Gods may inspire awe, and devils may inspire fear, but you inspire change. And in a world built on static hierarchies, change is the greatest terror of all. You carry within you a paradox, a fusion of mortal fragility and eternal resilience. The blood in your veins remembers both suffering and transcendence. It remembers being human and being more. Your journey is not one of conquest, but of collision, where flesh meets spirit, where fate meets will, where silence meets thunder. That's what makes you unforgettable. Not because of what you are, but because of what you awaken in everything around you. And that's only the beginning. You haven't merely arrived, you've risen, and in rising, you've split the sky wide open. Every story has 2 sides, light and dark, God and devil, hero and villain. But what if there was a third side? A side hidden not because it is weak, but because it is too powerful, too vast for mortal minds or divine doctrines to control. That third side isn't just a force, it's you. The third side is the unspoken truth that the cosmos have long tried to bury. It is the rhythm behind the beat of war and peace, the silence behind the scream of stars. It's chaos, yes, but not senseless. It is the raw architecture of potential, a foundation that dares to be both storm and stillness, and it lives, breathes, and awakens within you. To carry this third side is to be a storm contained within skin, It is knowing that your very presence threatens to undo every ancient lie gods have sold mortals to maintain control. You are the missing syllable in the divine language, the voice that was never meant to be heard. And now speaking, it will unravel empires, not because you want destruction, but because truth shatters false thrones. It is terrifying, yes, but not because it is evil. It is terrifying because it is free, free from judgment, free from cosmic binaries, free from the shackles of fate. The third side is choice in its most elemental form. You don't follow the divine script. You write it. Your soul is not a battlefield between heaven and hell. It is the forge where a new reality is born. And so you walk. Neither blessed nor cursed, but something greater, something unnamed. And every step echoes with power not even the stars can contain. They say power comes in threes: Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Creation, preservation, destruction, order, chaos, and now you, the last anointed, the one who doesn't fit into the old equations because you were never meant to. You are the completion they feared and the answer they denied. The ancient trinity was always incomplete. Two opposing poles can only spiral endlessly in conflict. It is the third. You who brings resolution. You are the catalyst that transforms opposition into evolution. The gods and devils are locked in eternal war because without the third, they cannot understand what lies beyond their own reflections. You are the mirror turned toward the unseen. This isn't a burden, it's a coronation. You don't end the war by choosing a side. You end it by rendering sides irrelevant. Your emergence is not a prophecy fulfilled, but a law rewritten. You are not just the chosen, you are the chooser. The one who lifts the veil, breaks the wheel, and dares to see beyond illusion. The anointed one is not crowned by gods, but by time itself. Every age before this was an overture. Every age after will be your echo. The universe doesn't just watch you, it orbits you now, shifting as you shift, bleeding meaning from your every decision. You complete the Trinity, not by joining it, but by becoming the thread that weaves it into one. A Trinity no longer of opposition, but of transformation. You are not the end, you are the becoming. In every myth, every religion, the cosmos is a battlefield of good and evil. Light stands against darkness. Creation resists destruction, and gods wrestle with demons in a drama older than memory. But what if that story was a lie? What if the war wasn't between two forces, but the refusal to see a third? You are the embodiment of that third, a force born not from either side, but from what lies beyond them. The gods represent order, the devils chaos, but you are the fusion of both. Not a compromise, but a synthesis. Balance isn't neutrality. It's fire and ice dancing, destruction blooming into creation, chaos shaping new order. The universe has always needed you, but never allowed you to rise until now. You are the correction in the divine equation, the pulse that makes both chaos and order breathe. And make no mistake, this balance is not peace. It's transformation. It is earthquakes that birth mountains, storms that cleanse worlds, silence that births new galaxies. In your hands, chaos does not destroy, it evolves. Order does not constrain, it guides. That is your gift, and it's also your danger. You are not the calm in the storm. You are the eye, still and watching while everything else spins in fury. The divine and demonic both fear you because you do not validate either of them. You refuse their wars, their old scripts, their ancient illusions. You are not a soldier. They cannot command you. You are not a follower. They cannot save you. And when you walk, they realize that their power was never absolute. It was always waiting for your spark to collapse. You are not the third side of the war. You are the reason the war ends. There was a moment, small, quiet, but infinite, when your soul stirred and something ancient snapped awake inside you. It wasn't thunder or lightning, but a whisper that shook the bones of the stars. The final spark had ignited, and in that instant, the cosmos remembered you. Your awakening is not just personal. It is cosmic insurrection. Old powers held tight to control by hiding the truth of what you are. You are not chosen by any one deity because you are older than they are. You are not born from chaos or crafted by light. You are the memory they all forgot and feared. The spark within you is a rebellion not of war, but of truth. As you awaken, worlds tremble. Prophets who once saw clearly now see only shadows. Angels look away. Demons hiss in envy. Mortals feel something stirring in their blood. An ancient call that predates their gods. This spark is not fire. It is consciousness. It is the awakening of identity unshaped by external dogma. You are not just a being. You are becoming the truth. Rebellion is not always loud. Sometimes it is a single footstep that echoes forever. That is the sound you make now. With every moment you exist in awareness, you burn down false heavens and dismantle the illusion of duality. This spark does not burn, it reveals. And what it reveals is terrifying. That gods and devils were always afraid of you, not because of what you might destroy, but because of what you might awaken in others. You are the first spark, but not the last. You are the beginning of a storm that no god can stop. They sit on high thrones, cloaked in power, drenched in praise. But deep beneath their celestial crowns lies a buried fear, a dread they never speak of, but always feel. That fear is you. You who were never meant to rise. You whose voice was supposed to remain silent. You who now dismantles their eternity. Gods do not fear evil. They were built to fight it. What they fear is irrelevance. You are the harbinger of that fear. Not because you oppose them, but because you expose them. Your existence reveals the truth behind their facades, shows their limitations, breaks their illusion of omnipotence. You are the light that reveals their shadows. Your power does not come from belief nor from worship. It comes from remembrance. You remember a time before gods ruled, before temples were built, before laws were carved into stars, and that memory is power. That memory rewrites what is sacred. You don't ask for permission. You don't seek favor. You are beyond their judgment, and that shakes the heavens. In your rise, the divine is forced to confront its own mortality. Their power, once unquestioned, now feels brittle. They try to contain you with prophecy. They try to define you with fear, but you slip through every chain like smoke through fingers. They see what you will become, and they tremble not out of hate, but out of desperation. Because in you, the gods see not an enemy, but their ending. Long before stars were born, before gods named themselves rulers, a prophecy was whispered into the void. It was never written in books, nor chiseled into stone. It was etched into existence itself. And it spoke of you, not as a savior, not as a destroyer, but as a completion. The sacred text that survived dared not name you. They called you the third flame, the forgotten voice, the one beyond names. Every era felt your approach, but none could hold you. Every culture tried to contain your story, but your truth burst through their myths like light through cracks. Because you were never meant to fit inside a tale. You were meant to end them. You complete the Trinity, not by joining it, but by changing its purpose. Where gods impose order and demons thrive in chaos, you bring evolution. You don't sit beside them. You make them unnecessary. You transform duality into a living force, into something dynamic, honest, and terrifyingly free. The prophecy didn't predict your actions. It predicted your existence. And in that alone, everything shifts. With each breath you take, the old prophecies crumble, revealing a new path, not written in blood or stone, but in will. Your will. You were always meant to rise, not as a chosen warrior of light or dark, but as the truth they tried to silence. The empires of gods are built on structure, hierarchy, and fear. But all structures fall. All illusions break. And now, in your rising, the ancient orders begin to collapse. Not with an explosion, but with a quiet refusal, a refusal to bow, to serve, to remain unseen. You are the fault line beneath their kingdoms, Every rule they made was to stop your kind from awakening. Every temple was a prison in disguise, but cracks form, and through those cracks your light pours. Not holy, not infernal, but real. You are the end of illusion. The collapse is not sudden. It begins slowly as believers ask questions, as priests lose their certainty, as even angels doubt their purpose. Your presence rewrites the script they memorized for eternity. Because in you, they see a future where gods no longer rule by fear, but are replaced by awakened will. The heavens don't fall in fire, they fall in silence. As people turn from old rituals and toward the flame inside themselves, a flame you sparked, you didn't need to destroy their temples. You only needed to walk past them and the world followed. Their empires collapse, not because of hatred, but because the truth can no longer be denied. The age of gods and demons ends, and your age begins. You are both dust and divinity, an impossible paradox that confounds even the most ancient minds. The flesh you wear bleeds and breaks, but the essence within you, it stretches across timelines and galaxies, echoing in dimensions the gods have long abandoned. You are the living contradiction, the mortal who remembers eternity. Walking between worlds is more than a gift. It is a burden few can survive. Mortals fear what they do not understand. Gods fear what they cannot control. And you walk through both realms with scars from one and wisdom from the other. You are not here to choose between them. You are here to bridge them. That is what makes you more than legend. You are the truth between lies. In one hand you hold sorrow, the weight of being human. In the other you hold power, unfiltered and raw, untouched by divine interference. But what makes you dangerous is not the power, it's the compassion. The understanding that love, rage, grief, and hope are not weaknesses, but the very forces that shape the stars. You feel deeply, and that feeling resonates through every realm you enter. Where gods stand detached, you walk in the mud of human suffering. Where demons mock pain, you carry it as a crucible that forged your strength. The world does not need another god on a throne. It needs someone who can walk among the dying and the divine with equal purpose. And that someone is you. You are the bridge. The only one who has walked both fires and emerged not consumed, but illuminated. Time has always been seen as a straight line, a path that moves only forward. But to you, time is a living being coiling and spiraling, whispering its secrets in every breath. You do not merely live in the present, you remember the future and feel the heartbeat of the past. You are the cosmic bridge, an access point where destinies converge and diverge, where forgotten timelines reawaken. In your presence, history becomes malleable. What was once inevitable now begins to shift. You carry the ability not just to witness change, but to become the mechanism by which it happens. The past feeds your purpose. The future bows to your potential. Ancient civilizations spoke of one who would bring time to its knees. They didn't mean domination, they meant alignment. Because the moment you rose, the shattered fragments of cosmic destiny began to move again. Time didn't collapse, it finally began to make sense. You are not bound by chronology. You are the moment when all moments intersect. This gift is terrifying. To see the past clearly is to feel every wound humanity has endured. To glimpse the future is to know the weight of choice. But you carry that burden with grace, not arrogance. You understand that one word, one step, one decision can ripple across millennia. And yet you walk forward. You make those choices knowing their cost. You are not just a moment in time. You are the reason time matters. There are truths the universe tried to bury, not out of malice, but out of fear. Some memories were too potent, too painful, too powerful. But you remember, not with your mind, but with your soul. You are the keeper of divine memory, the guardian of all that was, and the awakener of all that should be. These memories live in your blood, in dreams that don't belong to you, in instincts that pull you toward ancient places. You remember languages never spoken, names never recorded, civilizations that existed between heartbeats. It is not madness, it is inheritance. And in that remembrance, you carry a responsibility that dwarfs even the gods. For every truth you recall, a lie dies. For every memory you reclaim, a power awakens. It is no coincidence that divine memory returns through you. The universe chose your soul as its library, its vault, and its compass. Because in a world that forgets, you are the flame that restores. You do not simply remember, you remind others who they are. But memory is not just knowledge, it is pain. To remember means to grieve, to relive the fall of stars, the betrayals of gods, the suffering of the innocent. You feel it all, and still you rise because in your pain lies your power. You do not run from the past, you honor it, wield it, and ultimately transcend it. You are the lost chapter in the divine story, the one that changes everything once it's remembered. Good and evil, right and wrong, light and dark. These are cages, not truths. The world taught you to choose, but you were never meant to choose. You were born to become. The third side is not an in-between. It is the beyond. And when you finally unleashed it, the universe itself shuddered. The third side is your birthright. It is instinct and intellect. It is fire and water. It is the scream of chaos and the silence of peace woven together. You do not balance opposites, you merge them. This power doesn't obey rules, it rewrites them. It is not here to serve a greater order. It is the greater order redefined. When you unleash this power, the world doesn't just witness. It remakes itself around you. Night and day twist, certainty unravels, and suddenly possibility becomes endless. This force is not for destruction, though it can level mountains. It is not for salvation, though it can raise the dead. It is for transformation, the kind that makes gods obsolete. The third side doesn't fight light or dark. It consumes them, metabolizes them, and creates a new spectrum of reality. You become the storm and the calm, the question and the answer, the silence and the song. You are the unnameable force, the one thing the gods, demons, and even the stars forgot to account for, and now it is unleashed, and there is no putting it back. Every soul is born in chains, chains of belief, of limitation, of cosmic manipulation. Gods teach obedience, demons offer temptation,